What's up, cool people? Welcome to another live stream. This one's gonna be a little out of the ordinary. Just putting that out there. Actually, I guess it'll end up looking quite a bit like my typical Saturday live streams have been lately. But part of that is because I'm trying to figure out maybe some community games to work into Saturday streams in the future. I guess the plan will be have a certain game to start off with and or have a fallback on those streams, and then, have the idea, though, that at any point, all right, well, we might be able to play a certain game together. And, of course, I would be, announcing stuff in my Discord server and doing stuff like that. It's a work in progress. But it's definitely something that I want to integrate in the future, because as much as y'all might enjoy watching me and what I do, I would also like to have opportunity for, us to do stuff together. So, yeah, brainstorming ideas for that is pretty much going to be the main idea for today. I just figure I'll be playing something in the meantime that's kind of casual and will leave me very much open to look at and engage with the chat. But anyway, hi. For those of you who don't know, my name is Matt, aka That Random Christian Gamer. And, probably this will be even more true after our brainstorming session here, or at least I'm hoping. But the way I like to describe my channel is pretty much that I'm a random Christian guy playing random games, trying to connect with random people, help answer their random questions, whether it be about God, Bible, faith, or anything else that's on their minds. But, Christian gamers, so, personally, I'd put priority on, the faith-related discussions. But that doesn't mean we can't also just, have fun and get to know each other a bit better. And that's another reason I'm trying to work on the whole community aspect of things a bit. Also, before we really get rolling, update on Power Wash Simulator. And I'll probably say this again Saturday. The bad news, since the music just kind of queued up something like that. The bad news is, in the process of trying to fix the game and get it working properly, I kind of wound up deleting all of my progress in the game. But the good news is it seems to be working again. And, there's actual noticeable update stuff. Now, I don't know if the fact that I uninstalled and reinstalled the game was what fixed it. But that was what I did as part of the process of trying to fix it. I attempted a method of doing so without deleting my save data, but that didn't seem to really work. So then I just went full-blown, alright, we're gonna just completely uninstall and reinstall. And that worked. But like I said, it deleted my save data. So now I have to redo everything. I have already gone back and redone the Croft Manor job in the Tomb Raider campaign. But career-wise, I was much further ahead in the main career. And in the bonus jobs. Speaking of bonus jobs, I was kind of in the middle of one. I've been playing this a bit in between streams to try and catch up. But I doubt that's going to happen by Saturday. But anyway. Okay. Well, with all that explanation out of the way, it looks like there's going to be an ad break coming up on Twitch here, so I might as well just get that rolling, and then we'll actually, have the main attraction, so to speak, on the other end of that ad break. But the main difference that I've noticed now that the update has actually, you know, processed and gone through, like, the way that the bonus jobs are split up now, it wasn't like this before at all. Now that cleaning the gnome fountain is what I'm working on currently. I forget if I cleaned the food truck or if that was even a thing before. The satellite dish and the solar station both look new. As well as, okay, I know I did the excavator, and I think these were in there before. I might have even done the Spanish villa. I know I did the excavator. Not 100% sure about the paintball arena. But in any case, that's what I'm less sure of actually being new. Oh, but also, there was this Alice in Wonderland DLC that got added. That's another paid one, though, so I have not completely added it to my copy of the game just yet. Do still have the Tomb Raider stuff, Final Fantasy VII, and the Christmas stuff, basically. But anywho, okay. Now that I've kind of explained what all is going on, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the bonus job that I had in progress before. But while this is all going on, the main thing that I want to do today is, as the stream title says, I want to brainstorm some community games. Things that we can potentially play together. I know there's some, like, kind of little Discord games or whatever, so that's definitely a possibility. In fact, I think Power Wash Sim might actually also be a possibility. I looked it up, and it is cross-platform. Like, multiplayer is cross-platform. So, you know, it's just something to consider. I'm not 100% sure how it would all work with actually, like, getting people in the community playing along. Also, I'm going to try out having background music on even while I'm playing the game. Let me know what you think about that idea as I go through. Actually, hold up. Light bulb. Before I get rolling too much with this. What the, oh. And then if I can, I would like to pin that. Yes. Unpin. Manually unpinned or end of stream. There we go. Yeah. Now I will also need to work out the mechanics of how to actually play these games together. But it's definitely something I want to look into. So, like, with this game, yeah, there's cross-platform multiplayer. I'm not 100% sure the mechanics of how to make that work, though. So, like, I know there's a way to, like, invite people, and obviously, like, if I was friends on Xbox Live or something to that effect, that'd be pretty easy to figure out. But, yeah. So if you know about how to manage that kind of stuff for a particular game that could be played together, that would also be extra helpful. I guess a couple of ground rules of sorts when it comes to community game suggestions. For the most part, I'm just looking for, like, kind of more fun multiplayer experiences, family-friendly kind of stuff. Maybe, like, I'm generally not looking for something that's, like, overly competitive or, what some people might call sweaty or anything like that. Because, no, it's... The idea is more so to make it fun, not to, like, get annoyed with each other. And as I said, generally family-friendly type of stuff. So, as much as I do have multiplayer games that are not, that are less family-friendly, like, I do have the games, but for the purposes of those streams, I'd rather leave those off the table. Like, for example, don't get me wrong, kind of a fan of the Halo franchise, but first off, if we did any of that, it would have to be just the community, no other outsiders. I don't want foul language coming into the mix. And it would have to be, like, not campaign Halo. Because that's, yeah, definitely some language in there just by default. But that's really about all that I had in mind in terms of stipulations per se. Has to be playable, I guess, either on PC or Xbox. And this might finally be the thing that prompts me to get myself a Steam account after all these years. Because I don't want that to, limit the options too severely. Now, if it is cross-platform, where I could do it on Xbox, and, people can play with me from PC or PlayStation or other platforms, consoles, and whatnot, that's even better. But, anyway, so yeah, otherwise, pretty much the rest of what I'm going to be doing in this live stream is catching up on where I was in Power Wash Simulator, which it will take me the entire stream and I won't even get caught up quite back to where I was. I can practically guarantee it. Because there was quite a bit that I did before. Alright, what exactly is still dirty here? There we go, okay. Not sure why that was not getting clean. Did I? I did not clean that entirely. What is dirty on this? I was like, hang on a second, I don't know if I confirmed that I got this totally clean. Okay, there we go. This one is, though. This side here should have the most dirt for that particular section, piece, thing. Oh yeah, for those who don't know me and the way I play Power Wash Simulator, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of stubborn. I sort of, unless it seems absolutely necessary, which is hardly ever, I basically refuse to use any of the cleaning solutions in the game, because those cost money. And I'm trying to, you know, earn and save money, not spend more of it. Okay, hold up. Let me get the extension on there. Maybe that'll help with. Yeah, so this is the kind of stubborn that I am. Rather than add a cleaning solution, I'll just try and, you know, either pop on an extension or go with, like, you know, lower degree nozzle that should kind of hit it at a higher power. But anyway, so yeah, for the most part, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the dirtiness within the game, it seems, can be cleaned pretty much with the 15-degree nozzle like I'm using here. Alright, come on. Let's not clean about. Oh, well. Duh, that helps. Yeah, so, also, I know I kind of have the main topic of the stream as Brainstorming Community Games, but really it's just a big brainstorming session in general. So if you have other ideas of types of content you might like to see, I don't know if I'm looking to add too much to the regular YouTube video rotation, but on occasion I might be willing to, I don't know, do like a more topical video, which is kind of actually what I started off my YouTube channel doing. It was more just like, hey, here's what's on my mind and what I have to say about it. But if I go back to doing that kind of stuff, I'd almost rather, like, I'd rather do it a little better and, like, you know, not necessarily just be spitballing off the top of my head, or even just kind of have a general idea of what I'm going to say. Like, I almost want to, I don't know about, like, go all the way professional with it, but at least get something that seems a little better thought out and definitely better researched if I'm gonna step into any topics. The not so researched stuff is more so gonna be like short video material at this point, if anything. One thing that I can pretty much assure you will not be coming back, that is a type of video that I used to do, is like music-based top 10 videos. Now, could it eventually make a comeback? Yeah, sure, if I had the time. Like, maybe if I was at the point of basically making a living off of streaming and content stuff, then maybe I'd consider it. But shy of reaching that point, I don't know if I really have the time to put into too many more of those. And to top it all off, you know, music, copyright stuff. Bit of a hurdle to get around. In fact, if I went ahead and did that again, I would almost want to make like a secondary channel. But that'd have to be totally separate, just like record those outside of a stream. Because I can almost guarantee you, if I tried to stream any of that, that Twitch's copyright policy would just outright get that idea banned. Now, I don't know if it's just on certain things, but I seem to be finding, at least when it comes to my Kingdom Hearts playthroughs lately, that, yeah, Twitch is actually a bit stricter on the music stuff. And, you know, hitting me with copyright notices on that compared to YouTube. Maybe it's just because, you know, I'm playing through the earlier games and those songs have been out for a while. But the vast majority of stuff on YouTube is getting me hit with just like a almost slap on the wrist sort of notice that it's like, hey, there's copyrighted material found here. We're not going to do anything to you. I mean, the owner allows it to be used, so you're not in trouble. But it's there, just in case you weren't sure. And that's pretty much all YouTube has done about any of that in my Kingdom Hearts playthroughs. Meanwhile, Twitch, because of the copyrighted music within those streams, has, well, it has pretty much changed my default settings in my live streams to where they will default to being unpublished after the fact. And, yeah, you know, like the VODs will be unpublished after the fact. And, you know, certain sections of the streams will be just completely audio muted due to copyrighted material. So yeah, that I guess that's why I make the claim of Twitch seeming like it's a little stricter on the copyright than YouTube. Alright, so now when it comes to the game, I'm really debating with myself on whether I want to keep doing a bunch of cleaning like this or just break out the ladder now. I know I'm going to need to get to it eventually. Anyway, I gotta say there's one heck of a fountain. Looks like that Keeper's Lodge idea is dead in the water. Well, what do you think the square footage of the thing is once filled? Heck if I know. Actually, the square footage wouldn't change because it's filled. So I don't know why this person's asking me about the square footage once filled. Filling it doesn't change the square footage. And also, I wonder if they're actually looking for the square footage or more so the volume. Yeah, I'm thinking I will definitely need to get out the ladder for like the top level of this fountain. But for now, I'm attempting to do what I can without the ladder. Okay, well, some of these are getting clean. Hold up. I didn't get confirmation on any of it on this side. Okay. Based on where I started, there's only one that I would have gotten confirmation on anyway. Okay. I'm not expecting that it'll count the gnome statues themselves as being entirely clean yet, because, you know, there's an upper part to those. But I can pretty much guarantee you I will not be able to hit from this angle. And I'm assuming it's kind of similar with the edges there. So, I will just put this out there. I'm not looking to like completely change the vibe of my channel or my streams or anything like that. I'm just looking to maybe do some stuff together, you know? Spread the vibes a little more, you might say. It's like, man, maybe I'm just not as tech savvy as some people like to give me credit for, or maybe it's just that, like, I can't stand the way most internet how-tos are done these days. Or maybe it's just, you know, my, honestly, my, like, lack of confidence in myself. But one of those factors seems to, I don't know, it seems to make doing some new things a bit more difficult for me than I think maybe it used to be when I was younger. Or maybe I'm also just being kind of harsh on myself now, but, like, there's so many things that seem like they're practically automatic for a lot of the live streamers out there that I'm just like, okay, wait, how do you make this happen? Like, all the time I see people doing fundraisers and community games and I don't know, all sorts of other things like that, and I'm just like, but how does it work? Like, and I guess in particular, I'm also like, okay, how do I make it work without just getting or without leaving the door wide open for just spam central? You know what I mean? But I mean, I guess really it's almost more of a trade-off, and you kind of just end up asking yourself, all right, how much am I willing to trade potentially being spammed by people for, you know, the chance at doing more things together with my community? I don't know. Anyway. Okay. I think I've done about as much as I'm going to be able to do there without busting out the ladder. So here we go. Ladder time. And now we're up here. Oof. But yeah. All this red stuff, which is apparently moss. I mean, it's red and green, so I guess that makes sense. Green moss is definitely common. Red moss is also a thing. But anyway. Yeah, all this redness that used to be, like, on the entire fountain. Okay. What is still dirty on this gnome? Aha, okay. Clean. Goody. Gonna try and get these edges clean as I go around. The bowl, that's one big thing altogether. So, I don't think I'm gonna be... Well, it'll take a little while to fully get that. And I'm not gonna, like, try and fuss over every little detail with it as I'm going around. I'd rather just get the whole perimeter first, and all the edges and whatnot, and then dig into, you know, dig into that part of the fountain. Also, random thought / question. Maybe this is just me, but I find myself sometimes trying to be just a little bit more, I don't know, I guess as I'm streaming and making videos and such, I find myself putting a little bit more effort, at least, into trying to enunciate certain words and letters a bit better. Okay. There we go. I was going to be really disappointed if I had to go back down to the lower level to get that gnome clean. It will be a similar story if I have to do that for this edge here. There we go. So, while you're here, anybody who might be watching, I have a humble request. If you would be so obliged, I would greatly appreciate if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. I'm, as of the moment, edging up on 300 subscribers. And, long story short, there's a team of fellow Christian streamers and content creators that I'm looking to join, and that's kind of the mark they're wanting me to hit before I do that. Also, I did kind of promise my YouTube community that once I hit 300 subscribers, I would make, like, a dedicated supporter page, probably on Ko-fi rather than Patreon. From the bit of research that I did, yeah, Patreon's a bit more popular, but Ko-fi seems to have some actually better overall options for, you know, supporting and fundraising and whatnot. Speaking of fundraising, I guess if I ever wanted to do one, I could just make some sort of GoFundMe sort of thing, and then as I'm doing a stream, just have that link available and regularly published in the chat during such streams. I gotta imagine that's one of the easier ways to do it, and probably how most people do it. No! I have fallen. Fortunately, I'm not too far away from where I set the ladder. But, man, what else do I need to get? Okay. Okay. It was just that side of the gnome there that I needed to get, I guess. Okay. So I think now that leaves us with the bowl here, and the inner column, and then the top of that bowl, which, how am I even supposed to get up there? I guess maybe I could try jumping on top of one of the gnomes, and then jumping from said gnome into the top bowl. I did this before. I should kind of know. But I'll be honest, a lot of what I do while I'm playing this game is just kind of an on-the-fly, alright, well, let's see if this works sort of thing. But anyway. Also just realized I pinned that one chat comment about, you know, community feedback input on games to play in the future. I did not do so on YouTube. Actually, are chat comments even pinnable on YouTube? That's like, so like obviously I'm on both Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. The main thing that I think Twitch has the edge on is the overall streaming experience. There's a lot more interactivity there that Twitch has that YouTube does not. And if I mixed up what I was saying on any of that, I apologize for the confusion. But otherwise, if I think as an overall content platform, so for like long haul creators that are more interested in, you know, earning money from their content and whatnot, like, only streaming is like I feel like that's putting yourself on hard mode. But I mean, some people either really don't like to edit or just haven't developed that skill set to any extent or whatever. So they'd rather just stream because that's what they know they can do and not have to fuss over editing details and, you know, other things like that. I tend to keep my edits pretty simple for the videos that I make, but, you know, very, very slowly I'm working on trying to make things a bit better. Really, right now I have a slight emphasis more so on thumbnail choices / creation. Although, at this point, I'm not gonna lie, YouTube's thumbnail generation algorithm isn't terrible. Like, most of the time, there's at least one option in there that's pretty solid. Even just with only grabbing, you know, a screenshot from the video itself. My thing that I need to work on is figuring out good thumbnail screen cap moments, and then also being able to, like, basically also editing at least some sort of title or something over top of them is probably my next big step in thumbnail creation. Especially for my gaming videos. Bible study stuff, like, I kind of went with, you know, putting a graphic in there with text over top of it from the get-go. I am working on kind of changing those over a little bit to a newer look that's looks a little less basic. In fact, some of my thumbnails are already like that for the Bible studies. I just need to, like, go back and change the older ones at this point. But yeah, for gaming videos, so there are times when I have attempted to use screen caps from my games, which also, that's the thing, like, sometimes it doesn't even, the program I typically try to use to get a screen capture doesn't always want to work particularly well with that. In fact, sometimes it'll just, like, freeze up if I try and say, hey, I want to, you know, capture this frame. But yeah. Now I have a couple more program options for that, potentially. So that might be something to integrate back into it. But I guess the issue before was that if I tried to do that, like, well, A, sometimes it wouldn't work, like I just described. And B, sometimes if I tried to take that screen cap and edit that with programs I had before, putting text over top of it and whatnot. Sometimes that would make the file too large. So, yeah. The main thing I've recently added to my repertoire is Canva, which I know has been a mainstay for some people for quite a while. I'm very much late to the game on that, I'll admit. But the hope is that maybe with Canva I can, you know, maybe bypass the hurdle of the file sizes being too large. But that's a we'll wait and see kind of thing. For now, it's, I don't know. For now, I guess the main thing I'm doing is just making sure that my screen cap moments are not just something that fits the video theme and title, but like something that's also kind of like higher contrast. Not always, but at least, you know, more often than not, I want there to be a distinction between whatever character or moment that I'm highlighting and the just the background surrounding area and such. But that's all work in progress kind of stuff. And I'm not, like, gonna rush myself to, you know, try and make it perfect or anything, because well, for one, there's, like, almost always room to make things better. So perfect isn't necessarily something that I want to, like, grit my teeth over. I'd rather just, you know, be doing the things and not stressing over it, and maybe just slowly, incrementally making it better, rather than trying super duper hard every single video or whatever to make things perfect and then hardly get anything out there. That was the one thing where it was like, or one of the things where in the, like, sort of content creator class that I took lately, one of the things I took away from that, like, was good about the approach that I already had going into it because, like, if you want to succeed at being a content creator, the number one thing you got to do is actually, like, make the content. You know, do the live streams, post the videos. So from that standpoint, you know, while my current YouTube upload schedule, maybe I don't need to go as far as I've gone with it, given the stage that I'm at in my, you know, content journey or whatever you want to call it. But I don't know. It's one of those situations to me, kind of like if you've ever heard the story of the sort of quantity versus quality thing with the two teams making pots, where it's like, I mean, yes, you do eventually want high quality stuff, but by doing it more and more, and, you know, getting feedback, or even just self-evaluating and seeing what works, what doesn't, all sorts of stuff like that, in the process of doing it, generally you learn and get better at it a bit faster by just repeatedly doing the thing than you do by trying to just, like, make it perfect on the first attempt. Alright, there are some tiny little bits of things that I haven't quite gotten. Okay, so first off, this like lower area here, I want to make sure that I get clean. Okay. And some of these decorations are not 100% clean. Oh, jeez. Okay. This angle is so awkward. But I'm gonna try and work with it. Okay. That decoration is good. Wall's good. Decoration is good. Both good there. What am I missing on this section of the wall here? Some of these I might actually have to, like, try and hop up on the gnomes for. Yeah, I could see that being an issue. Okay, so, tell you what, let me focus more on the decorations for now. Oh, that... Okay, that wall's fine. That wall section. Wall's fine, decoration's fine. Both fine there. This one is not so fine. Okay. A little bit there. Hop up on the gnome real quick. See, not every one of these little sections has a gnome right there that I can hop up onto, though. Okay, both fine there. I've also absolutely not been keeping track of where I'm at, like which wall sections I have and have not done. But obviously the ones that are still dirty, I haven't quite gotten around to yet. But I might have made a full circle here now. Okay, well, if I haven't, it'll tell me later. Okay. So. I think I'm going to work on getting edges here a little bit before I completely hop up into the bowl there. Also, random thought, not gonna lie, for a little while I thought my music that I was playing in the background had just, like, completely stopped. Like I had somehow gone through the whole playlist already or something, which didn't make any sense to me because it hadn't even been as long as I've done portions with that music playing before. I also thought I had it set to, like, loop the playlist. So. I guess the music was not done, though. It was just... I know there's one track that I have in there that's just generally really quiet. It's some sort of thing about, like, snow or winter or something to that effect. I think the track is even called Falling Snow. So yeah, anyway. Well, to anyone who's currently watching the stream, I hope you're enjoying. As much as I would appreciate some chat interaction, I also appreciate just your viewership in general, so don't feel any pressure on leaving any thoughts or comments. But if you want to, you know, I'm looking for game ideas, especially community game ideas for the future. Don't feel like you gotta limit your comments to that, though. If you got something else on your mind. Otherwise, I'm just catching up on... So, anyone who wasn't here earlier, yeah. I was having issues with the latest update of Power Wash Sim, like, practically making the game not playable for a while. I tried to fix it, and seems like maybe I have done so. Although whether it was me or not, I can't be too sure. But, point being, it seems to be working now. Issue is, in my efforts to fix it, I went and uninstalled the game, which also deleted all of my progress in the game. So now I'm also going back and, like, redoing stuff that I had already done before. But I would like to get back to where I was sooner rather than later. Can't say for 100% sure where exactly I was with everything. I know with the Tomb Raider DLC that Croft Manor was the only thing I had completed. And I know with the main career set of jobs. I know I had gotten past the mayor's house mansion thing, which now realizing I'm gonna have to do that again is like, 'cause that was just, it was quite tedious, since everything there, like, you basically have to clean it all through a gate. Like, you're on one side of the gate, the mansion's on the other side. You're not allowed to go onto the mansion side of the gate, but you have to get the mansion clean. So yeah, that's going to be all sorts of fun to redo. I also know I had the second highest power washing equipment set. So, yeah, like, I know I've definitely got quite a bit of progress to make on a lot of that. Because as I am now going through and redoing it, I've only just unlocked the second main power washer item tool thing, but I haven't even gotten like all the extensions for it or the nozzles and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's quite a bit to go back and redo. Yeah, this game has been kind of my just standby go-to for Saturday live streams lately. So, at least a few weeks of doing that. Plus, I had played the game some even before streaming it. Alright, come on. I would like to get up on top of the gnome. Maybe if I do it like this. Yeah, okay. That ought to help. Cool. The gnome itself is clean. Huzzah! I just need to get some dirt off of these rocks. Dirt, moss, whatever it is. Clean off some of the impurities. Really getting down to just like tiny little details here. Alright, seemingly confirmed that playlist is set to continue looping. Because I'm pretty sure this particular song was already played once in the stream. Okay. Alright, Lower basin, upper basin edge, which is, whoa. So the upper basin edge would be like here. And it's probably these, like, sections in between the gnomes that are still dirty. So I might actually need to just hop down a bit, pop on the really long extension, and even that doesn't seem to be working. Or maybe it is, and I just can't see any dirt there because it's clean now. If this doesn't work, then my other thought is I take the ladder, move it around, and maybe that'll do the trick. Or, before I even do any of that, let me hop back up here and see if there's anything it'll show me. Aha, okay. Upper basin edge complete. Okay. So the outer walls and the lower basin base. Oh, hello. Lower basin base. Ah, so like this part here, I'm guessing. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, especially with all that stuff. Oof. Okay. And now I got the strat for it. Yeah. That's definitely where the majority of that dirt is. Have I gone all the way around now? Not quite. There we go. Cool. Now it's just the outer walls. Outer walls? Let's not clean on the outer walls. Watch there be just one little section of this outer wall that isn't quite clean. I'm literally not seeing any of them that show that they're not clean. Ah! This one. Okay, job complete. Huzzah! And while that does its little time-lapse thing, I'm gonna check my phone real quick. Speaking of my phone, I have it open to a note with community game ideas. Anyway, uploads, or however your name's pronounced. Hello, been work lurking. Want to just take a moment to say hi and comment. This is so relaxing for the workday. That was part of the reason I figured Power Wash Sim was a good default. I figure it's more on the relaxing side of things. But nice to know you're enjoying it, and thanks for lurking while you're working. Also, Babs, hello. good morning to you as well. I am doing quite well, generally speaking. Just slowly trying to improve things on my streams and my YouTube content as well, and thought I'd put this out there as a possible brainstorming session, especially for community game ideas, things that we might be able to do together. But Babs, my understanding is that a couple of weeks ago, if I remember right, you got baptized. So, how was that? Feel free to say as much or as little as you want to in that regard. But also, congratulations on that. Okay. Realizing stream might be a little bit behind. Okay, let me go into the shop here real quick. So yeah, I have bought the medium duty power washer set, but I still need to get some of the equipment for it. Like the turbo nozzle here, and the extensions. Not mentioning anything about another, I guess maybe there's one extension that's just kind of automatic. I don't know. Anywho, okay. So I could do another bonus job, but also I'm gonna need to do some of this stuff to get more stars in order to have a chance at the heavy duty power washer stuff. So I've got 15 stars now, need 40 for that. Started feeling the effects of what I did to myself and what other people have done to me as a child. It's, I mean, I don't know what exactly you've been through and all that. So, slight confession for me, I have actually recently gotten myself into a 12-step like program, partially because of a particular bad habit of mine, but also just like trying to assess myself and what like things maybe have affected me from the past and how, and just really trying to give that a decent, you know, analysis without necessarily checking myself into therapy. Not that therapy is a bad thing, mind you, but you know, I am just not sure I have the funds for something like that with my current budget. So this is not quite equivalent, but it's an alternative that I think might help get me along that path. I can't even say I had a particularly troubled childhood or any certain experiences like that that were particularly bad. It's just, you know, I realize there are some things that I tend to do that maybe are, you know, keeping me from reaching my full potential a bit. Been bottling up a lot of hurt and anger. Yeah, again, it's not great that these things happen in life, but I suppose it's good that you're like realizing it and hopefully starting to try and think and work through it. Because definitely just letting it sit there and bottling it up is not particularly healthy. I can say that with utmost confidence. Yeah, and I think, honestly, to some effect, I think for me, bottling some things up has been part of my issue, part of my struggle, and like I often hesitate to ask for prayer on things that are on my mind just because I feel like it's relatively trivial, or that, it's, I don't know. Or that, like, aside from giving context which would possibly sound like I'm blaming other people for different things, that, like, I don't know, it's a complicated thought process of, like, well, maybe I shouldn't mention this for XYZ reasons, even though really ultimately, for my sake at least, it would be helpful if I did. Yeah, that's something that is, I mean, I can't say exactly how common it is, but I've definitely, you're not the only one that I've heard who does that kind of thing there, Babs, so you're definitely not alone in that. But yeah, it's interesting, the program that I've gotten myself into, because it's more like, I don't know if anybody who knows what Celebrate Recovery is, it's kind of that sort of thing. It's like it's not specifically like an AA or NA or anything like that, which Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, for those who don't know. It's not like a specifically tailored to one thing sort of program. It's we're going to try and use this format, this structure, to help deal with a wide variety of possible issues in people's lives, and thus be able to bring more people together to talk about what they're going through, and more people equals more sharing equals more ability to help each other get through it, I think is one of the main ideas behind this program, why they do it, and why they do it the way they do it, and that kind of thing. But anyway, so that's just something I've been doing lately to just try and, like, work on myself, I guess. I've spent so much of my life not really trying to work on myself, other than, like, I guess be a better Christian, a better, follower of Jesus, more knowledgeable of things, developing habits of things. Like, that was my self-improvement mentality for so long that I just put other, like, personal things sort of on the back burner. Also, hadn't even really thought of it until I was in adulthood, for sure. Found me on Susie's stream in Discord. Nice. Oh, yeah. Susie's a good dude. I, oddly enough, find myself not so much on, or, lurking on his streams and whatnot, because I find myself more so focusing on supporting other smaller streamers and creators and whatnot. But yeah, good dude all around, and seems like a great community there on the whole. I was watching a video recently that he made just about, you know, a community meetup and people realizing in the Discord server there that, like, hey, we actually live kind of close to each other. Maybe we should get together and do some stuff IRL. And I'd like to maybe be able to do some similar things eventually too. But I think right now, a more logical next step in building community is let's do more stuff online together, maybe. Yeah, I'm trying to think. What do you do? Louisiana native. So technically I'm a Pennsylvania native, but my current location is in Texas. I mean, I guess. I mean, shoot, I've lived in Texas for at least 9, I think, bordering on 10 years. So, fair enough to say that I'm basically a Texas native at this point. I think, maybe. I don't know. Although I will say I don't necessarily have the same mentality around certain things as a lot of Texans have. Not here to open up a can of worms, but definitely politics being one of those things. But then again, there's, I don't know, there's urban Texas and there's like every other part of Texas, it seems. And the split in mentality there and just general approach, and in a lot of ways there's some major differences. Of course, as far as I've read and seen, it's not just Texas that's like that. It's actually most places, especially a lot of places in the US. Like if you were to look up, you know, voting maps of most elections, you find that a lot of the more urban areas tend to lean more one way and the rural areas lean more the other way. Cajun, eh? So, oh yeah, like that's like peak Louisiana native there. Not that others aren't, but like a lot of people, I guess when you think native Louisiana, like that's the vibe that you get, kind of what sets those people in that area apart from others is the Cajun influence. Close to Grand Isle. I'm not 100% sure where that is, to be honest. General, I mean, nearest big city to me would be Dallas, or technically, I guess, Fort Worth, but, like, yeah. It'd be a little bit of a drive. Not that it would be completely impossible or anything, but it would be a bit of a drive, for sure. maybe after I work through some of the stuff that I'm doing in the 12-step type program that I'm in currently, and actually kind of not so attached to where I am specifically for reasons like that. Maybe I'd be a little more able to, go on the road and meet up with some people, because my job is quite flexible. Like, all I need is a laptop or some sort of computing device and internet, and I could basically take my job wherever. Although I do still need to get a new laptop for that, because my old one is so slow I'm not even bothering to use it anymore. Know where Fort Worth is because there's a military base there, and that is where I started school. Interesting. So, like, military family kind of situation? Or, like, did you actually attend military school? Or both, I guess, but it's either or. But just a little curious. If you don't want to get into detail, that's fine. Know that is the case at any given point in conversation. But otherwise, I will ask questions, and you can feel free to let me know what you are or are not willing to talk about, if at any point that becomes, a thing. But yeah, I'm basically like an hour's drive south of Fort Worth. Actually, there was somebody who was viewing within the past few weeks who actually lives just like maybe a 5 to 10 minute drive from me, I would think. Maybe 15. Military family, 92 to 94. Okay. My family isn't really military, although my late step-grandfather on my mom's side was in the military. He's really the one I consider my grandfather more than my actual biological grandfather, just because he was there for more of my life. He said he was a Korean War vet. But yeah, major respect for sure to, military personnel and the sacrifices that they make, and their families, because, like, that's not exactly an easy living situation either. I still got a lot of cleaning to do with this porch fence area and whatnot. Okay, so what exactly is not clean about this fence here? Okay. That one's clean. Now I gotta finish up this fence here. So, military 92 to 94, I'm guessing that would have been... Was that Persian Gulf War kind of time frame? That's what comes to my mind. but I can't say I'm super familiar with exactly which wars and conflicts were happening when. All's good. Gutter still needs some work, but it's probably the entire gutter unit, including the top of it. Did I get the bricks here still need a little bit of cleaning. As does this post, apparently. Okay. Hope there aren't any other posts like that I've been missing. Oh well. So now that I think about, you know, now that I'm putting a little more thought into community game options and things like that, I'm also thinking now that if I went full time, the whole Fun Day Friday concept would totally be like perfect for you know, community game times. Minecraft? Maybe. In fact, that's probably the only, I don't know. Personally, like, I get that people have fun in the game and that there's actually a fair bit to do in it. I just personally am not of the type of creative mind that playing it on my own would really be very fun. So if I played Minecraft at all, it would probably just be a community game for me. But I mean, that's something to look into. Is that cross-platform? I would think so. Especially with how big that the Minecraft community is just in general, and how big the game is in general. Tell you what, let me pop that onto my list of community game ideas. Definitely one to consider. Yes, but not for Pocket Edition. Okay. So, like, console and PC can play together, but not like the mobile version. Gotcha. Yeah, I might also need to gather some info on how to make, how to actually, like, manage community game stuff. Like, I would think if you're on a specific platform or anything like that, then it could just be, alright, well, let's, you know, friend each other or party up or whatever on this, on like Xbox or PlayStation or Switch or anything like that. But I don't know. Anyway, more stuff I need to research. You got it on PS5. Okay. I'm not actually 100% sure whether or not I have Minecraft in my games library at the moment. I mean, I definitely remember some students I worked with at the boarding school job I used to have, like, they would get, like, they would even, you know, play Minecraft on my Xbox. So what I am not totally sure of off the top of my head is, okay, was that just tied to one of their accounts, though? But, still. Even if I'd have to pay for it, that's one that would probably be worth the price of admission for being able to do community stuff. Games that I currently have available that are multiplayer, and I think cross-platform multiplayer. Actually, this game, Power Wash Simulator, has some multiplayer to it, and based on my little bit of research, it can do cross-platform multiplayer. I also have, let's see here, I've got Rocket League, I've got Fortnite, even though I, like, a lot of these games, I'll admit, I rarely end up playing these days, but I've got Rocket League, I've got Fortnite, Fall Guys. I do have Fall Guys as well. In fact, that was one of the first ones that came to my mind when trying to think through this idea. So I will definitely put Fall Guys on the list. There's actually also, I was just recently for, you know, my sister channel, you might say, Same Spirit Gaming on YouTube. We did a session playing the game Dauntless, which is on Epic Games, and I'm pretty sure is cross-platform through that. That's a totally different vibe, because it's kind of Monster Hunter light. And if you don't know what Monster Hunter is, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. You go around and you hunt down these, like, just big, giant monster creatures. And oftentimes you want to do it together with multiple people, so then, you know, y'all can kind of manage different things at different times. Like, one person could maybe be a distraction while others, you know, do more long-range things and or healing, or they just, I don't know. Dauntless isn't quite as involved as that, but it's similar, I would say. It's the closest comparison I can think of. I will, however, point out that Dauntless seems to have some issues with crashing on the Xbox version. And it's not even just, like, not even just because I play on Xbox One. There was somebody else in the recording session who was playing on a Series S, and it was crashing there, too. Meanwhile, our other guys in the party who had played on PC and Switch apparently had no issues with it crashing. So I don't know if Epic Games just doesn't like Xbox or what, but yeah, it was a bit of an issue. But I mean, it, you know, the game as a whole and, you know, the party dynamic and whatnot, I mean, it handled the instances of crashing fairly well, all things considered. Because it was like, okay, well, this person's the party leader, and their game crashed. Now we just assign a new party leader, and the group keeps going. Cherry Hymns. Thanks for the follow on Twitch there. Trying to think if there are any other multiplayer games that I know for sure that I have offhand that would make for good community games. I don't know. Hello. First time seeing this kind of game. Well, then hello and welcome to Power Wash Simulator. This is a lot like what it sounds like. So the general premise is you are an employee slash owner, maybe, of a power washing company, and you go around power wash cleaning various things. And from what I hear, if you actually pay attention to the dialogue, there's maybe sort of some lore behind this, where a lot of this dirt might actually be volcanic ash. But that's a little bit more theory than actual, like, confirmed thing. But not a bad game to play if you're looking for something that's kind of on the stress-free side of things. I downloaded this with Xbox Game Pass, even just the core version, which is the less expensive one. But yeah, I will also say they've been continually adding new, like, DLC content to the game. There's not like tons and tons of it, I would say, yet, but they've got like a Christmas themed thing. They've got they just recently added some Alice in Wonderland themed DLC. It's also for free, at least on Xbox. There's Tomb Raider, Final Fantasy VII, and the Christmas stuff as well. Other DLCs are paid, like the Alice in Wonderland stuff. There's Back to the Future, SpongeBob, and then Warhammer 40k, all available as paid DLC packages. But, okay. Let me break down how the game works a little bit. So obviously you've got your power washer here that you see me operating. It's interesting. Wonder what would be power washed on those DLCs. So, like, for the Tomb Raider one, the one job that I've done there is cleaning the outside of Croft Manor. And you actually get to interact with the butler a little bit, who, yes, is in fact frozen, or not frozen, but he's locked in the freezer when you get there. So it'll pretty much just be different, like, you know, generally vehicles or buildings that you're power washing. But breakdown of the game mechanics. So you've got your power washer that you operate here. You have different nozzles for it that are different, like, widths and things like that. The more narrow the nozzle, the, I guess, stronger the spray is. All the way down to, you got this turbo nozzle here that's like jet stream and, like, kind of spins around a little bit just to give you some extra cleaning power with the jet stream. You also got different extensions So, like, if I was way down low and I wanted to reach something up high, I could pop the extension on there. Be able to do that a little bit. Do you need to buy them? So, like, the in-game store and currency is what you use to basically get yourself other upgrades and things like that. I'm trying to remember offhand. So I'm currently using the, like, second tier power washer. That's what you start off with. I'm using this one. Now you do for sure on this, on anything beyond the first tier, you have to buy the extensions for sure. And nozzles, I think you only have to buy the turbo nozzle. The other ones, well, the turbo nozzle and the one that allows you to use different soaps and stuff. But the 0, 15, 25, and 40 degree, those are all there by default. So yeah, there's upgrades that you basically, you know, as you complete the jobs, you earn money, and then you can use that money to buy the upgrades within the game. Those are, like, that's all within the game. No other needing to pay real-world money for it or anything. Only real-world money you have to put into it beyond potentially the base game. I don't know. I don't know if it's free everywhere, but is just some of the DLC that gives you more jobs to do, more things to clean and whatnot. Yeah, no problem. One other thing to add to the explanation, there are also, tell you what, let me real quick move my webcam for a sec so you can see. Bottom right corner there, you have 3 different stances you could potentially be in. You've got standing, crouching, and prone. And that usually is more so to help with, like, okay, so let me hop down here real quick. So, like, let's say I needed to get underneath of this window frame here. I could go to the prone stance and be able to get some of that stuff that happened to be underneath the frame. That's really the main purpose of that function. So, yeah, otherwise it's just you clean stuff. Me playing on Xbox, I can hold right trigger to spray or press left on the D-pad and it'll just stay with a constant stream. There's also, I'm trying to think of what else. Oh yeah, there's a mix of cleaning liquids that you can use that will make it easier to clean either, like, rust off of metal or clean glass or plastic, I think is one of the options. I generally find that not so necessary. In fact, I basically never use the cleaning liquids, but it's an option if you'd rather not resort to using, like, the turbo nozzle for everything. Or all the, like, really stuck-on stuff, I mean. Okay. Roof is clean. Hooray. Now, up there in the top right corner, you can see kind of the general progress on the particular job that you're working on, as well as the specific piece of it that you're cleaning. So that little bit of white there on the meter, that going down, you know, that's indicating how much dirt is left to clean in that specific part of the job. And then the bigger circle next to it is the job as a whole and how much progress you've made on it. And then top right just shows you how much money that you have in general, I think. Maybe it's just how much you've earned from the job. I'm not 100% sure on that off the top of my head. But yeah, there's your general rundown of Power Wash Simulator, what it is, how it works, and all that kind of stuff. I know it's available on all platforms. I'm just not sure about pricing on all platforms, I guess. Seeing it at 99%. Yeah. Also, when you get down to the last few things, they add this little to-do list, which lets you know, okay, here's the last few things you need to clean. Oh, yeah. Also forgot to mention, okay, real quick, there's a dirt finder button that you can press. Let me try and actually find something that's dirty here real quick so I could explain it. Okay, see? Alright, right there. See how that's dark normally, but if I press the button, it, like, highlights the dirt there. So that helps a lot with being able to see what is and is not clean. And there's also, if you'd rather not continue moving your entire perspective around like this all the time, you can press, for me it's up on the D-pad to go into a mode that's more like this, where you're actually just looking around a bit more like that and not constantly changing your entire field of view while keeping the reticle aiming thing at the center of the screen like normal. So let's see here. We got 2 posts and a window frame. Which window frame is dirty? Apparently this one. Suppose I should not be surprised by that. I got so focused on the porch and the posts and whatnot that I kind of glossed over that. Okay, that post is clean. That post is clean. So is that and that. Clean. Clean. Oh yeah, also you can rotate the nozzle to either go horizontally or vertically. Also helpful, because, you know, horizontal is generally better for cleaning stuff down low like that, but occasionally you got some more vertical objects like these posts that you want to have it that way. I might have just mixed up what I was saying slightly there, but you get the general gist, I hope. Any specific goals overall, or just completing each section? Any storyline? There's not much of a storyline. Like I said, if you pay real close attention, usually throughout each job, you'll get some sort of kind of phone dialogue stuff. Most of it's specific to, like, each job that you do. Hey, and after you're all done with the job, you get a nice little time lapse like this. So yeah, you might get some, like, text dialogue, air quote. I'm air quoting dialogue like that, I don't know. Text blocks like this, where people will talk about the specific job that you're working on, sometimes letting you know that there are other jobs available. Yes, it was very dirty before. Everything in this game starts off extremely dirty. And that's the whole point. So yeah, if you pay real close attention to messages like this, which sometimes will come up on what looks sort of like a cell phone screen off to the right-hand side while you're doing a job, some of those get a bit more into kind of other happenings within the world of the game, you might say. And now that I'm done with that, I can back out and show you a little bit more of the variety of tasks and things in the game. So that's kind of the main career part of it that I was doing right there. You've got bonus jobs as well that will get you money, but not stars. So, like, they'll help you with purchasing equipment, not so much with unlocking new tiers of it, though. You got a couple of different sets of bonus jobs in here. I don't remember the satellite dish or the solar station being in here until the newest update, but that could just be memory failing me there. Yeah, so there is sort of a career path, but there's not, like, the story is really easy to just kind of ignore, honestly. But yeah, and then there's a free play mode where you can do stuff all over again if you want. That's also where a lot of people tend to do the multiplayer. That's essentially just redoing stuff you've already done from the campaign or the bonus jobs. There's also challenge modes where you can go back and redo stuff with yeah, just to finish the job, get the money update. Yeah, the free play stuff doesn't even get you money. Yes, this can be multiplayer, and to the best of my understanding, it's even potentially cross-platform multiplayer, with some slight limitations there. I'm not sure exactly. I'd have to look into it a bit more. But also there are challenge modes. You've got time challenges. Pretty obvious there. It's like you're trying to complete it within a certain amount of time, and how well you do will get you a certain grade, which they symbolize with either gold, silver, or bronze medals. And the other kind of challenge, same grading system, but rather than being down to a time limit, you're trying to use only so much water. Basically, as little as possible. So, a little more replayability there as well, if you're looking for more of a challenge. But yeah, and then let me back out here. Here's where you can see the DLC options. And this is everything currently available. So I've done a little bit of the Tomb Raider DLC. I've also got Midgar, which is Final Fantasy VII stuff. And the seasonal special is currently, I think, Santa's Workshop is the only one. But then there's also these other Alice's Adventures, Warhammer 40k, Back to the Future, and SpongeBob available as paid DLC. The ones that I've downloaded are free, at least on Xbox. And going to the Microsoft Store page will just give you all those... The place to actually download those directly. Yeah, I am playing this on Xbox, by the way. In case that wasn't clear or known already. Oh yeah, so let me show you the shop where you buy the different power washers and upgrades for them and whatnot. You know, that option in the bottom right was just, alright, let's take you to the Microsoft Store where you actually download all the things. Collectively, if you want, in one location. So, you've got clothing and modifications. Those are purely cosmetic. Power wash to clean the Microsoft. That would be, like, microscopic level power wash simulator. So anyway, in the shop here, you've got 4 different tiers of power washers. Light duty is what you start off with. And then you got medium duty, which is what I currently have and use. Then you got heavy duty as the next tier, and professional, which obviously prices and number of stars required increase as you go through those. Then you've got the equipment for each of those. So each one has a turbo nozzle, a couple of extensions, and a soap nozzle that needs to be purchased separately. Speaking of which, I need to buy the soap nozzle for the current one. Well, needs is a strong word because I hardly ever use the soaps, but I'd rather have the whole set. And then here's the cleaning liquids. They're generally not particularly expensive, so I'm just stubborn with not using those. But just in case, I suppose having one of each isn't a bad idea. You can buy multiple of each at a time. And the way you earn stars is basically just the main career path stuff. So if you look right up around here, you'll see I have 20 stars currently. So I would need to do 4 more jobs and complete those in the main campaign. Cleaning liquid is not mandatory. It just makes it easier. So there's some stuff like, say, rust that can be especially difficult to clean. If I didn't use the cleaning liquids, which I tend not to because I'm stubborn like that, I would have to go around and use like the turbo nozzle probably to get the rust off of surfaces. But instead of being stubborn like that and only using the turbo nozzle for all of that, I could use, say, the metal cleaner and then probably still be able to manage it with like the regular 15-degree nozzle or something like that instead. Or if I wanted to use just a wider nozzle collectively for the whole thing, I could like spray some glass cleaner on part of it, then hit it with a wide nozzle. Or a plastic cleaner for, like, I think the playground job is what I have next in the career. There's a lot of plastic there, so I could spray it with the plastic cleaner, just gloss over it practically with a wide nozzle, and get it clean probably a bit quicker that way too. The cleaners are, to my understanding, they pretty much wind up being optional time savers. So, comes down a little bit to how you want to go through the game and how stubborn and or patient you are. But yeah, next career job is going to be this playground here. However, I would like to take a short break before getting into that. I'm also noticing Twitch is about to have an ad break come up, so nice timing. I'll probably just run that and take my quick bathroom break and whatnot here. And then I shall return. In the meantime, feel free to just further enjoy the background music that I have going on. See you in a bit. I also tend to forget that because of the way I have my OBS settings set up, that music tends to sound louder for me than it does for y'all. At least background music that I have playing. Oh yeah, let me see if this works here real quick. For anyone who might want to chat about stuff in between live streams and whatnot, and maybe keep up with YouTube channel activity and all that, my Discord server is probably the best place for all that. I've heard the link might not always be clickable though, so feel free to let me know if that's an issue or anything. I mean, if you're on Discord, we could just try to connect. Otherwise, my profile name there is the same as my channel names, so shouldn't be too difficult to find me. I don't think there are too many other random Christian gamers floating around out there. Would also be a great place to leave your community game ideas. But anywho, okay. I am now going to move on to cleaning the playground here. So, as an example of the story, or at least as much of it as you get. So there's something like this. So from the park warden, Dirt Finder, I've got a frankly ridiculous situation on my hands. See, some of the local children have been coming down with a curious and unsightly form of dermatitis, and a few fretful folk have been putting it down to the condition of the recreational facilities. It's all nonsense, of course, but if we could just humor them and give the whole thing a thorough hose down, I would be most grateful. So yeah, that's really most of what you get conversationally. But anyway, let's start the job. This will probably be the last one I do for the day. I might be meeting up with somebody for lunch here in just shy of a couple hours. But I'll need some time to look into that and maybe get myself ready for it too. Alright. I definitely would like to start around the edge here and kind of work my way in. Personally, I think that also looks really good on the time lapses after the fact. If I'm able to go around in sort of a like really structured way, just kind of make it look like almost a loop of sorts. But I realize I'm missing some spots as well. I wonder if I could hit this with a slightly wider nozzle. None of this looks like particularly stubborn dirt here. Also, soccer ball. Occasionally there's little objects like that you can sort of push around just for fun. Occasionally there are gnomes you can topple over and other little things like that. Okay. Might be just some little bits of dirt that I've missed because I was not being particularly cautious on the first pass. And in case anyone's wondering about the background music that I have playing, it's literally just a it's just a list of songs that I have downloaded from YouTube's audio library to use as, like, I don't know, themed music for different games that I've played through. Especially, like, near the end of videos that I make, I'll just throw on some music that seems fitting and work with that. Ah, okay. I was wondering about that. Could it fly over the boundary? I doubt it. I'd probably have to, like, try and hit it with the 0-degree nozzle and, like, attempt to pin it up against a corner in order to even look into that possibility. It's looking like probably a no. I'll tell you what, let's approach it from a different angle, try and get behind it and see if we just do a whole bunch of this, if it'll... Yeah, no, it seems like it's probably just going to bounce around. I mean, maybe if it hits off of something at a decent angle, then maybe it'll fly out, but no. Odds are probably not with flying over the boundary. Okay. Gotta make sure I'm actually getting, like, the edge of the edge here to get it fully clean. And this is one of those cases where the changing stances can help. Yeah, no, I'll be honest, I'm not sure I had tried that before, so you got me a little curious about it there. By the way, if you don't mind, I think I will call you just Sherry for short. Oh yeah, geez, all sorts of dirt that I was missing before. Maybe I should just be going around in the prone position like this. This is one of those situations, though, where you start to realize the game logic is sort of defying real-world logic a little bit, because there's no way much of anybody would be able to move this fast in a prone position while operating a power washer. Okay, edge is clean, yay. Now, I can start working on moving in from the edge a little bit. Again, also just like the sheer feats of athleticism that our power washer can pull off here, we have found can be kind of ridiculous. I've actually played through a bunch of these jobs that I'm doing already. It's just the game kind of broke for a little bit when installing and trying to use the latest update, and so in an effort to fix it, I uninstalled and reinstalled the game, which cleared my save data. Worm. Hey, maybe. Earthworm Jim? Is that who's operating the power washer here? Job description where he said this is just to appease people. Basically that the park has nothing to do with the dermatitis issues. Meant to be funny, right? Yeah. Either the guy is incredibly not aware of the issue, or he's just trying to pass it off like, yeah, no, this is purely to appease the people. Like, you know, he really didn't want to, but he's finally caving in. Never used a power washer IRL before. Neither have I. I was just ever so slightly tempted at one point to buy a power washer when they were on clearance at one point. Thought maybe that'd be, you know, a business venture of mine. Of course, that was That was while I was working at Walmart. Got to see it on clearance on a daily basis for a little bit. And also was looking for jobs outside of Walmart work. I mean, out of all the big retail chains to work for, Walmart actually kind of isn't the worst. But still, not exactly something I wanted for myself super long term. So my most recent Walmart stint came down to about 3 years of working in the like online order filling department. But anyway, back to this game and the situation. Yeah, either dude was completely oblivious, or he just was stubborn and finally broke down and admitted that, okay, maybe we need to give this thing a wash. But I'm going to word it in such a way that I'm doing this just to appease the people. I don't actually want to do it, though. I don't think it's necessary. But clearly, it needed this. Yeah, now the power washing equipment that I saw IRL, even on clearance, was like $200. But, you know, if I actually tried to turn that into a business venture, I think that would have been a worthwhile startup cost. But anyway, so eventually, once I get this job to about 20% cleaned, there will probably be a message popping up on the right-hand side of the screen that will be either telling me more about this job or the dude who, you know, is in charge of this job and gave it to us, or maybe somebody mentioning a new job that'll be available. Yeah, it's usually at about every 20% of each job that you complete is when you get other messages popping up. Alright, my system of just going around the edges is starting to break down a little bit, because it's like, there's stuff in the way of where I'm trying to work in from. But also, each different color of flooring counts as a separate section. So there's also that to consider. I try not to get caught up in, oh, I just want to clean this specific section. But sometimes it's a little tempting, because you see the progress bar going along, and it's just like, I want it to be done. I want to see the nice little white flash of light that it shows when I know something's clean. Well, there we go. Harper Shaw. Hear that the mayor's cat Ulysses is missing. The whole town's on the lookout for him in time for the festival. We won't have spring till he's put that hat on. To be honest, if I had to wear that hat, I'd go missing. Okay. So yeah, the town of Muckingham apparently has a regular springtime ceremony where the mayor's cat puts a hat on, but the mayor's cat is currently missing, so they won't be able to do the ceremony without the mayor's cat. So yeah, just funny little bits of information like that, usually, that tell you a bit more about the town of Muckingham and the people and things that they do. That's really the most that you generally get in terms of lore, air quote, for this game and story. It's always psychological aspects on the game. Makes you want to continue or completing one part of the progress. Yeah, I'm sure there's some psychology to, like, the progress bar and it... Ooh, see, right there, that little flash of light, that it's like, hey, that section's done. There's definitely some psychology that you could look into on stuff like that. That I try as much as I can to psychologically circumvent it and go about it in a different way. But then again, anybody who's seen me do this knows I apparently have some ingrained psychological habits of doing things a certain way most of the time. Oh yeah. Another section complete. Yeah, most of the time that I'm doing this stuff, I will either try to work from the outer edges inward, or I'll attempt to do something like purely from top to bottom. Especially if it's like one specific building. A lot of times those are the ones I'll try to do top to bottom. Which is how I figure you would want to do it in real life. You know, because otherwise you'd get the dirt from up high kind of falling down low on top of what you've already done. It's one of those things where I could imagine my pap, who was technically my step-grandfather, but one of those things where I could imagine if he actually ever did power washing, that's something he'd probably be a bit of a stickler for. So, growing up in Pennsylvania, where we had snow and had to shovel it sometimes, occasionally I'd be out there with my pap, and he would kind of insist on doing it a particular way so that it's not like, you know, not like you're having to redo your work at any given spot. All that dirt. Right, now we're at a point where I'm kind of at least working on the flooring that's within certain parts of the playground. But I find the vast majority of things can be cleaned by this 15-degree nozzle. Other than, like, really stubborn bits of dirt. But I'm generally going around with 25-degree for now, just to work in from the edges of the playground. Jeez, it's been like 20 minutes, I think, and I'm only at 31%. Yeah. Can pretty safely say this will be the last job I work on in this particular live stream. Alright, I think I already cleaned the floor inside there, so now I'm actually going to take a little bit of a shortcut through that to get back to edge piece. And in fact, I might just sort of keep going on through that way. And doggone it, it's so tempting to want to clean all this other stuff while I'm going around, even though I primarily want to focus on the floor. Okay, now some of this stuff here real quick. I'm not sure if I just missed it before or if it's actually a little extra stubborn. But, anyway. Not a big deal. How long does it take you to finish one job with a power wash usually? It varies quite a bit from job to job. Like, the first job in the career path of the game is just cleaning a van. So that doesn't usually take too long. Maybe like 5 to 10 minutes. However, stuff like this is a lot bigger, more complex, a lot more stuff to clean. Although I will also add, the amount of money that you earn from completing a job is usually fairly proportional to how much time that it takes to complete the job. So there is that to consider as well. Okay. While I'm here now, I'm trying to get the blue floor circle completely cleaned. I already got the green and the yellow. It just seems weird to... Well, that might be why the blue one's not clean yet. There we go. Yeah, sometimes it's actually kind of forgiving regarding how much you actually need to clean before it'll give you the, like, okay, you're done with this section, kind of go ahead. Alright. Blue circle here should be getting cleaned here pretty soon, yeah. There we go. Alright. I'll come back to that little... I guess that's a merry-go-round? Roundabout. Okay, whatever. I guess roundabout maybe is the more general term, especially for that one that's more like playground equipment. I don't know. Alright, at this point it's turning more into a, alright, let's clean the floor section by section. As I still have different areas left to get. Always heard merry-go-round may be a regional thing. Oh yeah, this game also is very much British. The way you'll see things spelled or different words that they use in the game, you could tell the game's British. And I have discussed it thoroughly with a particular viewer of mine who's usually in here on the evening streams. Oh, hello. Mayor Jeff Jefferson. Oh, he's the one whose cat went missing, right? Howdy, Dirt Finder. Put everything on hold. I missed that a little bit, but whatever. Doc gave your details to a colleague who needs a hand with her new place in the suburbs. See, okay, so that's kind of stuff where it's telling you, hey, you've got new jobs available. But like, okay, so for example, even just with the very first job in the game, cleaning the van, the way that they spell the word tire, you can tell is British, because they spell it T-Y-R-E. So, just an example. But very much evidence that shows you the game is British. And of course, with the town name being Muckingham, even less surprising. Yes, T-Y-R-E. That's how they spell tire in this game. It's British. Also, oh, another example. Over here. Calling that a bin instead of a can. Some of these I think they might even specifically call rubbish bins. Very British way to refer to it. But the game itself is clearly not set in Great Britain, because, or really in the UK in general, I'd imagine. Because there's, well, at least if the theory holds up about, like, all the volcanic ash and stuff, but maybe that's just a theory. Actual setting, I'm sure, is supposed to be fictional. Before you even said it, I'm like, I bet they call it a bin. Yeah. You were correct there. I'm still not 100% sure how to pronounce your name there. Is it Haplotes? Or is there like an extra emphasis on the E? Is it Spanish? Haplotes. Not that I consider it crucial. I would just, if I'm going to say something to or about you specifically, I would generally like to have an idea of how I'm supposed to pronounce it. It's a Koine Greek thing. I usually tell people to call me Hap. Okay. Well, I don't believe I have any other Haps who are followers or definitely not chat regulars, so I will work with that. I'll just call you Hap. Oh, man. Alright. Not gonna lie. Getting a little hungry. Like, it's currently 10:36 a.m. in my time zone. I had breakfast at probably like 6:30, and I'm not a big breakfast eater, generally speaking, so yeah. Of course, if I'm gonna meet up with my one friend for lunch, that won't be until noon. I'll probably just have, like, I don't know, some sort of fruit or some carrots or something to tide me over if we end up meeting for lunch. Although, with how long this might take, who knows? Hey, alright, the green part is clean. And I just realized I've been crouching for a while. Y'all can't see what stance I'm in because my webcam is blocking that part of the screen. That's something else I'm thinking I might want to work on is getting some sort of overlay in here where I can have a chat window within the overlay. And then I'd probably just move my webcam to the top right, have the chat window top or bottom right, and then maybe also have, I don't know, a little logo or some sort of other information going along the bottom of the screen. And then the game capture window itself would be shrunken down just slightly so that nothing gets blocked off by all the other stuff that I just mentioned. Alright, there we go. Blue circle is done. Yellow circle isn't quite done. I might need to actually go inside some of the playground equipment to finish that up. There we go. Yellow circle's done. Green 4 seems to be done already. Blue 4 there is done. Okay, green done, yellow done. Small red floor. There we go, that's done. Blue's done there, okay. I think all the flooring is done. Yellow. Yeah, sure seems like it. Okay. Before I move on to the rest of the playground, I might just work on like some of the exterior things like the benches and the bins, as the game calls them. I think most of us are agreed that pretty much any American, instead of calling it a bin, would call it a can, because we normally think of just trash cans, and it's just the general way that we refer to those. So shortening it up to a singular word would probably be just calling it a can. Trash can for sure. Alright, what am I missing on this bench here? A little bit there. There we go. Okay, bench is done. I guess since I'm moving around this way, I might as well get the merry-go-round, or whatever you want to call this. Game calls it a roundabout, but maybe that's more a British thing. Okay. Yep. This section of it still isn't quite done. There we go. Alright. So, normally I play this game on my Saturday live streams. Don't know, probably by the time I catch up to where I was before I basically reset my save data, I probably will not do this game so much on Thursdays anymore after that. In fact, Thursday streams aren't even necessarily completely regular for me. It's just I have slightly fewer obligations over the summer. So I figured I could toss in an extra stream each week. If I do play any other games over the summer, I'm still not 100% set on those. Would be a good time to maybe experiment, if I can figure it out, with some of the, like, community games that I had in mind. See, this looks entirely different. All the other dirt and stuff has been more black. That was more of, like, a whitish color. Or maybe, like, a light brown. Definitely the kind of thing that could potentially be volcanic ash, I'm just saying. I feel like I must have watched a game theory video on this game, and that's why I'm stuck on the whole volcanic ash theory idea thing. There we go, that bench is clean. Run. Oh yeah. Forgot to mention that ability. If I press in the movement stick, which for me is the left one, I also have the ability to run between things. Or just run around in general, I guess. Oh, man. Alright. Oh, yeah, and all these little objects around here do count towards the overall percentage for the job. There we go, that's clean. Another bin here. See, now, here's the thing that I've just realized is a minor differentiation that us US people tend to make. Trash receptacles we will generally call cans, but recycling, it's usually recycling bin that we say. So, trash can, but recycling bin. Just more awareness of, I don't know. I don't know if you'd call that a dialect. I was gonna say it's a dialectical nuance, but anyway, never considered that. Yeah, we don't say recycling can. I don't know offhand of anybody that would call those recycling cans. I guess the shape of it tends to affect things too, because there are some, in fact, a great many trash cans, especially the ones that you'll just put in, like, a bathroom or whatever, that, like, are rather cylindrical, like most other things that we would call cans, such as soda cans, or you see, and that brings up a whole nother sub-discussion on, you know, what people call carbonated beverages, because that's even just like a regional, within the United States, thing that differs sometimes. But on the whole, to my knowledge, a lot of cylinder-shaped things we will tend to call cans. Or bottles, depending on if it's made of, like, metal or plastic, I guess. Yeah, where I'm at, it's pop. See, I'm currently living down in Texas, which is one of the... There's plenty of people down in this area that will call just any soda, they'll call it Coke. Even for the generic term. And I'm just like, no, Coke is a brand. See, I'm from up in Pennsylvania, where I guess pop is sometimes heard, but it's generally more so just called soda. But like, shopping carts or buggies, yes. Shopping carts are definitely called buggies down here in Texas. Ooh, new job available and more cleaning liquid. It does make me wonder a little bit, because it mentions extra cleaning liquid available. Is that just that it allows you to stock up on more? Or is it that you only get so many bottles for the entire game? I don't know. That's another reason why I tend not to use the cleaning liquids, because I don't know if there's an overall limit on them for the game. So I had never heard of sprinkles as Jimmy's until a coworker from Pittsburgh said it. Yeah, I'm not exactly from Pittsburgh. I was born in Altoona, which is like maybe a couple hours drive outside of Pittsburgh. I guess maybe closer to 1 hour, I don't know. I was young then. Family moved closer to the Philadelphia area before I turned 11. So, like, being more on the Pittsburgh end of things was early childhood for me. But it was most of life for my dad. So, yeah. As far as sports loyalties and whatnot, my dad definitely leans more on the Pittsburgh side of things. Hey, there we go. The Stego slide is clean. I like what they chose to call that. Stego slide. It's a slide that's a stegosaurus. Stego slide. Jimmy's and Yuns. I did hear Yuns a lot growing up, though, for sure. Although they generally spell it more like, and maybe even pronounce it more like there's an I in there instead of a U. The ones that are really like that, you want the accent of that particular area, then yeah, it's Yins. Spelled and pronounced with an I, basically. Yeah, I've also seen the Yuns, where you've got like 3 vowels in there, but anyway. Of course, I grew up close enough to more like central Pennsylvania to where the accent just kind of leaned into almost more redneck / almost southern sounding. Just case in point, I was using the word y'all well before I moved to Texas. . So crayons or crowns. I definitely heard some people call them crowns, but no, to me, crayons. But apparently the way that I spoke, you know, shortly after my family moved to, like, the Philadelphia area, people at school asked if I was from Ohio. Alright, might actually be time to bust out the ladder just so I can get on top of these monkey bars here. Okay, now there's a term that seems to be pretty universal to my knowledge, monkey bars. I've only ever heard them called monkey bars. Now, the unit as a whole, sometimes I've heard called like a jungle gym. Like, especially if there are monkey bars and a swing set. Or something like that. Or if there are other bars that go other directions besides just, like, kind of horizontal like this. Okay. Monkey bars are clean. My playlist randomizer seems to have selected the same song. Not quite back-to-back, but in very close proximity. A very quick succession, I guess. Anyway. Alright, I am 63% done with this. And it's 10:55. Trying to get as much of this as I can while I'm on the ground level. $65%. Also, it must have gotten warmer or something, because, man, I'm feeling a little toasty right now. Not gonna lie. Of course, you know, I am in Texas. Today actually shouldn't be one of the worst days that we've had lately, though, because we had some days where it was getting up above 100. Today is only supposed to get up in the 90s, if I remember right. There we go. Okay, so that part's done. Anything else inside here that could use a thorough cleaning? That I didn't get so great. Oh yeah. Top that a little better. And that. I think most of what I'm missing from these things now is more toward the outside. Yeah, by the way, I don't think I specified this earlier, but, like, you don't necessarily have to fully complete a job to get the money from it. You can get, like, part of the money. Basically, you earn some of the money from the job with, like, each object that you clean. So if you happen to end up, you know, pausing partway through and then you come back later and realize, oh hey, I've got some money here, maybe I can buy an upgrade for my power washing stuff. That is a possibility. Drink here real quick. Alright, what is still dirty on this climbing pole here? I bet you most of the rest of it I'll have to get from, like, up top. Just so I have the right angle on it. That's where the dirt highlighting feature very much comes in handy, though, so I can confirm or deny my suspicions. Real talk, it is very easy for me to lose track of both time and just generally what I'm doing when I play this. Oh yeah, lots of dirt inside here. So most of the time, this game isn't like too brutal with how much of an object you need to clean before the game will just say the whole thing is clean. Occasionally, though, it's like, yeah, you gotta get pretty fine into the details. Before it'll give you that little light that tells you, yeah, it's all good. Oh yeah, there we go. Cargo net's done. I'm gonna work on... I don't know, would you call that a ceiling? This is calling it the underside of the floor above, which is also accurate. Oh yeah, that angle helped a lot with getting those clean. What am I doing? Okay, what about this lower wall here is not clean? Okay. There we go. Oh, I still gotta get the top side of the bridge floor there. That's why it's not calling that done yet. Yes, I do eventually need to work my way up to the second floor of this to get the insides of some things. Might have to go back around after I take care of all the other stuff here just to get the, I don't know, the peaks of those things. Guess most of the dirt left on that is on the outside. Okay. Alright, we're getting there. 74%. It's 11:08. Well, I should definitely be done with this by noon. Which is good, because if I'm going to meet up with somebody for lunch, it will be happening around noon. Alrighty. Now, we get this right here. So it is just the underside for this one. Ooh, but maybe if I go about it like this. Yeah. That is also a very satisfying way of cleaning things in this game, when you can just kind of go back and forth. I don't know. Any way of doing it that is, like, very orderly like that, I guess I just have an extra appreciation for it. I don't know. There we go. While it's on my mind, and I know that it's there and visible. Okay. Mm. 77%. Alright. That's probably part that hasn't gotten cleaned yet. Yeah. There we go. Slide is done. Oof, all this dirt here. Under this, under the seats. Okay. Move on to this real quick. And that. it's almost time for me to move on to the second floor of this here playground structure. But before I do that, let me bust out the extension here. Because going between extensions like that is much easier in this game than picking up a ladder and moving it all over the place, that's for sure. I'm just realizing I don't have like an extra long extension for this. Mostly just trying to get these triangular shaped areas on the outside before I move on up to the second floor. Of course, it's not going to give me the confirmation light thing that any of them are clean because they're all part of things that I need to hit from the inside. I am eventually going to need to bust out the ladder to get the roofs of those. Or maybe I could just do it up like this. Hip. Alright. Yeah, I might be able to just hop between these roofs. I'm less certain about hopping from the red one to the blue one. But at least the yellow and red here I should be able to get. Okay, well, come on. It's not letting me move very well here. Oh, jeez. I might want to try and hit sections of the roofs with just, like, the extension here, I guess. Oh, no, it's just that whole side of it is still dirty. Yeah, and it counts the whole roof as one section. Okay, movement is being weird, so I'm gonna do this mode for a little bit. Ooh, there we go. That's a helpful spot to be on. Okay, I guess I got the whole climbing pole cleaned. Oh, it counts the underside of the roof too? Alright, well then maybe I should just do the second floor stuff first. So I'm not constantly here trying to nitpick the tops of the roofs. Probably a lot of little things that I haven't gotten 100% cleaned yet. Yeah, that reminds me about another feature that maybe I'll get to in a little bit. After I clean off stuff here. So I suppose I could just pause all that real quick and explain it now. So for those of you who don't know this game, when you press pause, it brings you to this kind of list of, you know, the different sections that need to be cleaned within the job. If you kind of select one here, or if you go to one and on Xbox, press A, other platforms, whatever you need to do to, like, select, you know, and choose something, that will actually, like, highlight it there. And then, let's say I select the large bridge floor. And then I press start again to back out. It'll show you that section. So then you can find the, at least the broader part of what needs to be cleaned. And it'll pretty much just keep highlighting that until you get that area clean. Another very helpful feature of the game. See, now I'm going to work on cleaning off this bridge here. Yeah. Pretty sure it won't let you highlight things like that you've already completed, but, I mean, it's not really much of a need to highlight them after you've completed them. Let me make sure I get up inside here before I try to move on. 1, 3, and we're at 88%. Yeah. Should be able to get this done before noon. There's little spots like that that tend to be a little more stubborn sometimes, almost like it wants you to go over them twice, and they're a little harder to notice too. But of course, that part of the roof isn't going to be considered done until I also get the outside of it. Alright, well, I am not going to fuss over every little detail of that right now. I'm gonna try and get the bulk of things done, get the bulk of the dirt off first, and then use the various features of the game to go back and get whatever I might have missed. Why are you not clean yet? Alright, whatever. Moving on to another section here. Occasionally, this game is very forgiving with getting certain sections clean. And, like, at one point, it'll be like, okay, you're done. Like, there are some times when I've been cleaning something and it's like, alright, I've still got a noticeable chunk of dirt here. Let me move along. And then there's still, like, probably, I don't know, 10% of that, you know, chunk, block, whatever you want to call it, of dirt that isn't clean yet, but it just kind of gives me the all clear, and I'm just like, well, okay then. I definitely prefer that over, like, nitpicking every tiny little thing. Bridge here. There we go. %. 94. Getting pretty close here, but usually the last couple of percentage points take a little extra time just because you gotta go hunt down the different sections that need to be cleaned and then, like, get real into the details to make sure you get the last bit of dirt. Real quick, gonna check my phone to make sure I don't have... I just got my reminder of, you know, my potential lunch meetup. Wanted to make sure I hadn't gotten some sort of a text message either confirming or denying that that's happening. And no message as of the moment. Once I wrap this up, I will probably be sending a text as an attempt to confirm or deny that. I'm not 100% sure the person I usually meet up with is even, like, in town right now. I know they went on some sort of a trip, but I forget how long that was supposed to be. Now watch this be something where I'll have a bunch... Yeah. There was still, like, all this area here that was dirty. But it was like, nope, you're done. I guess just because of... I don't know. The larger the area that needs to be cleaned, the more forgiving it tends to be with that kind of thing. Like, especially section to section, it tends to be like that. There we go, that's done. Oh, forgot about these a little bit. Might have some of those to go back and redo here. Come on, let me move. Hit. Hit. Nope, not quite. Okay, fine. I'll go get the ladder. Might work out a little better that way anyway. Because then I can get a good low angle on this side. It also tends to be, I don't know, moving up along a roof tends to flow a lot more smoothly than moving down on a roof. Unless, of course, you lose track of where the edges of the roof are and you fall. But that can happen in either direction, so that's... eh. Not something that would really separate movement in one direction as better than movement in another. Of course, I think it's the fact that I'm looking nearly straight down if I'm moving downward along a roof. Because from what I've observed, the higher up that you have your viewing angle, the quicker it'll let you move. Just in general. Alright, we got 99%. But I'm pretty sure there's still some of these kind of things to get. Yeah. Okay, well that was quicker than I expected. Not gonna argue with it though. I'm pretty sure I got that one. Let me check this one here real quick. Yeah, yep, see? Boom. Yes, that one is clean. Did I get that one? No. What would be the best angle to try and get that one? I guess maybe just here. Yeah. Okay. And then I hop over here to get this one. Hop back over. Did I get this one? Yes. Okay. Now is where I start wondering what all I have missed. Oh, geez. Okay. Platform is clean. Alright. Tell you what, let me look at my list here. Climbing pole guards. This. Needs something. At what angle, I do not know. Ah, there we go. Okay. Climbing wall. It's... that would be this thing. The little rocks and whatnot. Just also noticing that dirt while I was at it. There we go. Climbing wall clean. Moving on down the list. Large bridge slats. Okay. Cool. Slide guards. There's one slide guard clean. What angle am I missing for the other one here? There we go. Yep. Something about this. is still dirty. There we go. Okay, maybe that's down low that there's still dirt there. Alright, got that. Small bridge floor is not clean. Maybe it's the underside that isn't quite there. Okay, fine. Then I'll hop down here. Yeah, that would do it. Okay. And now I've got my short list here, which means I'm really close to being done. But those are also very generic descriptions. So let me continue going through my list to highlight what actually still needs to be cleaned. Cool. Also got the one trim that I hadn't gotten yet. In the process of that. There we go. And then one of the vertical struts. Which one is it though? Because there's only one that I haven't gotten totally clean. There we go. Job complete. Huzzah! And now for the time lapse. There we go. Yeah, also, after you finish a job, I just remembered, you can actually go back through the details and the messages here. All the messages that you get while doing a job. You can go back and review. But anyway, okay. 5 more stars and $600 more earned. Now we got this house and a golf cart. Note the differing amounts of earnings from those. Very much indicative of how much needs to be cleaned and how long they would take. But even as quick as the golf cart would take, I kind of got to get going here. So, anyway. I appreciate y'all stopping by, hanging out, chatting, following, doing all that good stuff. I'm gonna figure out somebody to raid on Twitch here, and then that'll be it for me. But I hope y'all enjoyed the stream. Hope you're all having a good day, and that you continue to have good days, weeks, whatever, until the next time that you're around. Feel free to check out my YouTube channel in the meantime, where I will have just kind of shorter individual videos that are usually sections of things that I have streamed. And then, of course, there's the Discord server where we can hang out and chat in between stuff. And all sorts of social media pages and stuff, too. But anyway, alright. I believe I have figured out a raid person. Although I'm a little bit torn between two, but anyway. Okay. So, that's going to do it for me for today. Also, feel free to come back Tuesday or Saturday, kind of early evening time frames. I stream then as well. But, anywho. I hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I'll see you soon for another stream. Okay, it says I am not able to raid the first person that I had in mind. So, we'll go with another option here. Hopefully, if it'll work. Okay, that is allowed. Good. So, yeah. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I'll see you soon for another live stream or whatever. But, until next time, stay cool, everybody.